All right, so we're diving into Hong Kong today, but not the typical tourist stuff. We're going deep on neighborhoods, the ones that are actually good for business travelers.
Right.
We've got this article, breaks down each district, and I'm kind of curious, what hidden gems are we going to find?
Yeah, it's funny how many business travelers, they get to Hong Kong and they just feel stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like hotel, meeting, airport, repeat.
Yeah, yeah.
We're trying to break out of that, right? Find those little pockets, even if you've got a crazy schedule.
Totally. I mean, skyscrapers and dim sum are cool and all, but we want more, right? We want to find those neighborhoods that actually work for business travelers, places you can get stuff done and also explore a bit.
Exactly. So maybe we should start with Central. Like, it's the heart of business in Hong Kong, right?
Central. The name kind of says it all, huh? But for someone who's seen a million financial districts, what makes Central stand out?
Well, besides the obvious, the corporate energy, Central's got this surprisingly diverse range of service departments, like the Figo. It's known for its stylish boutique feel. They even have, get this, amenities for travelers with pets.
Oh, that's cool. So you can close that deal and then come home to a furry friend.
Exactly. Perfect for those long stays, when you need a little bit of home.
I like it. Now, this article also mentions Shengwan, right next to Central, but totally different vibe. What's the deal there?
Yeah. Shengwan, it's a cool mix of old and new. During the day, it's all business, but when the sun goes down, it's foodie heaven, cocktail central.
Ooh, now you're talking my language. The article mentioned this place called Koa.
Oh yeah, Koa. If you're into cocktails, you have to go. They're all about agave spirits, so like tequila, mezcal, that kind of thing. They even have a private room, for a more intimate business gathering, maybe a celebration.
Okay, that's going straight on my list. But we got to talk about the culture too, right? Manmo Temple, Taekwon, the article touched on those.
Yeah, it's wild, right? Like you step out of a crazy meeting and boom, you're in this peaceful temple, incense, history, the whole deal. Manmo Temple, it's a real moment of calm. And Taekwon, it used to be a police station, but now it's all art and culture.
Like a mental reset before heading back to the boardroom.
Exactly. Now, if you want a neighborhood that's got it all, shopping, dining, easy to get around, then Causeway Bay and Wan Chai, those are your spots.
Causeway Bay, I've heard it's a shopper's paradise. But for a business traveler, is it all just malls and big chains?
It does have its share of high-end retail, for sure, but you'll also find a ton of independent boutiques, concept stores, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the service departments, there's a good mix. The Fleming, for example, modern design, all the business-friendly amenities like a co-working space, meeting rooms.
So you can network without even leaving the building, huh? Handy. Now, the article was raving about Wan Chai's food scene. Anything in particular stand out?
Wan Chai is a total melting pot of food experiences,
Huh.
from like street food stalls to Michelin star restaurants. For a business dinner that'll impress, I'd say Leela. Modern Indian food, amazing.
Yeah.
They've got private rooms too for a more, exclusive gathering.
Indian food in Hong Kong, now that's a twist. And I see they're right by the Wan Chai Ferry Pier. Speaking of, how easy is it to actually get around these
Oh,
areas?
super easy. Causeway Bay and Wan Chai, they're incredibly well connected. The MTR is your best bet. Quick and efficient, but you can hop on a tram or even just walk between them.
So, Central for that classic business vibe, Shangwan for after-hours fun, Causeway Bay and Wan Chai for a mix of everything. Where to next on our Hong Kong adventure?
All right, let's head across the harbor to Sim Shat Sui, where business meets leisure and it's spectacular.
Sim Shat Sui, I've heard rumors, harbor views, luxury hotels. Tell me everything.
Sim Shat Sui, it's all about that iconic Hong Kong experience.
Yeah.
Picture this. You wake up in your service department, let's say, the Langham floor-to-ceiling windows, and bam, there's the harbor, this amazing panorama.
Sold. Floor-to-ceiling windows, harbor views, I'm in. But is there more to Sim Shat Sui than just that?
Of course. It's got a vibrant cultural scene, some really cool shopping too. Instead of the usual boutiques, check out Nathan Road, the Golden Mile. You'll find everything there, Chinese medicine shops, electronics, tailors. Perfect for a unique gift.
A one-of-a-kind souvenir. Now that's a story to tell back at the office. And getting back and forth between Sim Shat Sui and the main business areas is that easy.
Super easy. You've got the Star Ferry, classic Hong Kong, plus the MTR, taxis everywhere, and Kowloon Station for the Airport Express. That's right there in Sim Shat Sui too.
So even if my meeting runs late, airport in no time. Perfect.
Yeah.
Now, what about those of us traveling on a budget? The article mentioned Mong Kok. What makes it good for business travelers?
Mongkok, it's a trip. a whirlwind of energy and local culture. Not your typical business district, which is what makes it so cool. And for budget travelers, there are great service departments. Lodgewood, for example. Comfortable, modern, everything you need, and it won't break the bank.
So you get the real Hong Kong experience without sacrificing comfort or convenience. I like it.
And Mongkok is full of these unique experiences. Instead of the usual tourist markets, check out the flower market. It's crazy, the colors, the smells, perfect for a unique gift or just to really immerse yourself in the culture.
A business meeting followed by a stroll through the flower market. That's a day I could get behind. But isn't Mongkok a bit far out?
It is
Yeah.
further out, yeah, but it's so well connected by the MTR, you can get anywhere fast. Plus, there's a direct bus to the airport, which is a lifesaver for those early morning flights.
So real Hong Kong experience, but still easy to get around. Now, what about those travelers who are all about being near the airport, like in and out, every minute counts?
Yeah, staying near the airport is strategic for sure. And Hong Kong's got a surprisingly wide range of options there, beyond the typical airport hotels. You can find great service departments, Regala Sky City Hotel, often cheaper than staying in the city center.
So maximize sleep, minimize travel time without giving up comfort.
Exactly. And the transport options are great. Taxis, hotel shuttles, the airport express train gets you downtown in like 24 minutes. Plus, a lot of the airport-adjacent hotels, they have free shuttles to and from the terminal.
So even if you're by the airport, you're not stranded.
Nope. And there are cool things to do around there, too. If you've got a few hours, the Gongping 360 cable car, amazing views of Lantau Island and the Big Buddha statue.
So even a quick trip, you can still squeeze in some sightseeing. Nice.
Make the most of it, right?
Now, we've covered a lot, but there's one more district the article highlighted that I'm curious about, Kowloon. What's the scoop?
Kowloon's interesting. It's this blend of old and new. You've got traditional markets, temples right next to modern skyscrapers and malls. Business travelers often overlook it, but it gives you a totally different side of Hong Kong.
Okay, you've got my attention. What kind of places can a business traveler expect to stay in Kowloon?
You'll find a real mix. Luxury hotels, budget guest houses, service departments. The Eaton HK, for example, it's stylish, modern, caters to a more creative, entrepreneurial crowd. They've got co-working spaces, meeting rooms, even a cinema.
So, network with fellow creatives, maybe catch a movie after work. Sounds pretty good. But what about the cultural side of things? What makes Kowloon unique there?
Kowloon has some of Hong Kong's most famous temples. Wan Tai Sin Temple, it's known for its incredible architecture and fortune-telling. Pop in for a quick visit, light some incense, maybe get a glimpse into your business future. Yeah.
A little business divination, why not?
Yeah.
And the food scene in Kowloon, anything stand out for a business lunch or dinner?
Kowloon is a foodie's dream come true, from Michelin-starred restaurants to street food stalls. For a real, authentic experience, head to Temple Street Night Market. Clay pot rice, stinky tofu, curry fish balls. Not your typical business dinner, but definitely a conversation starter.
A night market food tour, that's an experience I'd remember. And getting around Kowloon, easy enough.
Oh yeah, great public transport. The MTR connects it to the rest of Hong Kong. Plenty of buses and taxis too.
So, business districts on Hong Kong Island, the airport, all within reach.
Exactly.
This is amazing. Already feeling inspired to book that next trip and explore beyond the usual tourist spots.
That's what we like to hear.
But before we move on to part 2, where we're going to dig into Hong Kong's transportation network, I want to circle back to Shangwan for a second. You mentioned the after-hours scene, but what about those boutique accommodations, the Figo specifically?
Ah, the Figo.
Yeah.
Such a hidden gem. They really get what business travelers need. For example, they give you a free mobile phone in every room, unlimited local data, calls to certain countries, little things, but it makes a difference.
Oh, yeah, that's smart. Saves you from buying a SIM card or racking up roaming charges. Plus, those quick calls back to the office, coordinating meetings, it's all right there.
And they've got this partnership with a local co-working space, so you get discounts on day passes. So if you need a change of scenery, a more professional setting for a few hours, it's right there.
They've thought of everything. So, besides the Figo, what else makes Shangwan good for the after-work crowd?
Well, we talked about the cocktails, but there are also tons of restaurants, bars, lots of them tucked away on these little side streets. Like there's this speakeasy called 001. You enter through an unmarked door in a back alley.
A secret bar. Okay, I'm in.
And if you want something more low-key, tons of cozy cafes, wine bars, perfect for unwinding after a long day.
Sounds like the perfect mix of high energy and chill, all within walking distance of Central.
Exactly. Shangwan's like that friend who knows all the coolest spots.
I'm getting serious FOMO just thinking about all these places.
And we're just getting started.
All right, welcome back to our Hong Kong deep dive. Last time, all those amazing neighborhoods. I'm already feeling inspired to book a trip.
Me too. But picking the right neighborhood, that's just the first step, right? To really conquer Hong Kong, got to master the transport system.
Okay, tell me everything. What makes Hong Kong's transport so special? It's not just like any other big city, is it?
Well, on the surface, yeah, you've got your buses, taxis, even trams. But what sets Hong Kong apart is, well, how seamlessly it all works together, how efficient it is. It's like this finely tuned machine. If you get it, you save so much time and hassle.
Time saving, that's my love language, especially on a business trip. So where do we even begin with this transport deep dive?
All right, let's start with the MTR, the Mass Transit Railway. It's like the backbone of the city, connects everything.
The MTR. I've heard it mentioned, but is it really that much better than, say, the London Underground? Like, what makes it so great?
Oh, it's a completely different experience. First off, clean, efficient. The trains are like clockwork. The stations are spotless. No weird smells, no puddles.
Okay, I'm listening. Nobody wants to start their day with a bad commute.
Exactly. And the network, it's huge. Think about it. You can hop on a train in Central, the financial district, and be at the airport in under 30 minutes. No traffic, no delays.
Wow. You mentioned it goes beyond Hong Kong Island, too. Does that mean I can use it to explore other areas, like Kowloon, the new territories?
Totally. The MTR goes across the harbor to Kowloon, even into the new territories. So all those cool cultural spots, unique neighborhoods we talked about, you can get there easily.
Okay, starting to see why everyone loves the MTR. But what about those iconic red double-decker trams? Are those just for tourists, or are they a real way to get around?
Ah, the trams. Yeah, they're a classic part of Hong Kong. And you know what? They're surprisingly efficient, especially on Hong Kong Island. They might not be the fastest, but they give you this unique view of the city.
So, like, imagine I finish a meeting in Shangwan, and I want to get to Causeway Bay for some shopping. Could I just hop on a tram and enjoy the ride?
You got it. The tram line runs along all the main streets. You see the real Hong Kong, the daily life. It's great for people watching, too.
I like that. Ditching the underground, experiencing the city at street level, like a moving sightseeing tour.
Exactly. And for those Instagram pics, nothing beats the view from the top deck of a tram as it goes through the city.
All right, I'm sold on the trams. But we can't forget about Hong Kong's harbor. There have got to be ferries involved somewhere, right?
You know it. Ferries are a big part of how Hong Kong works. They connect the island to Kowloon, the outlying islands, everything.
I always think of those classic green and white star ferries. Those are the main ones.
The Star Ferry is definitely the most famous. And yeah, a ride across the harbor is a must-do. But there are other ferry routes too. Some are really useful for business travelers.
Give me an example. Say I'm in Tsim Sha Tsui and I've got a dinner meeting in Central. Could I take a ferry?
For sure. There's a direct ferry between Tsim Sha Tsui and Central. And honestly, during rush hour, it can be even faster than the MTR. Plus, the views are amazing.
Arriving at your meeting by ferry with the Hong Kong skyline behind you, that's an entrance.
Yeah, it's pretty memorable. And speaking of making an entrance, we should talk about taxis.
Taxis, I'm guessing they're easy to find.
Taxis are everywhere in Hong Kong. They're
Uh-huh.
reliable, especially for short trips or if you have luggage.
Now, do I need to haggle over fares like in some other places?
No, no haggling. All taxis in Hong Kong use meters. Just make sure the driver starts it when you get in, and you're all set.
Easy enough. Any tips for hailing a cab? Are there specific taxi stands?
Most places, yeah, just flag one down from the street. But in busy areas like Central, it's better to go to a taxi stand. You'll see them, they're usually near big intersections or landmarks.
Good to know. I always appreciate those little insider tips.
Right. So we've covered the MTR, trams, ferries, taxis. What about getting to and from the airport? We talked about the Airport Express train before, but are there other options?
The Airport Express seems like the obvious choice if you want speed, but what if my hotel has a free shuttle?
Yeah, if your hotel has a shuttle, that's tempting, especially with lots of luggage. Or if you're arriving late, takes the stress out of figuring out transport after a long flight.
True. But what if on a tight schedule, need to get into the city, ASAP? Still recommend the Airport Express.
In that case, Airport Express, no question. 24 minutes from the airport to Hong Kong Station, and it connects right to the MTR. Super smooth, no stress.
24 minutes. Wow, that's fast. I'm used to airport transfers taking like an hour or more. Okay, Airport Express it is. But what if I'm not going straight to a hotel? What if I need to get to, say, Kowloon for a meeting?
No worries, the Airport Express stops at Kowloon Station too. You can get to that side of the harbor without having to go to Hong Kong Island first.
So no matter where I need to be, Airport Express is a good option. Now, before we wrap up this transport talk, there's one thing I'm wondering about. You mentioned an octopus card earlier. What is that exactly, and why do I need it?
The octopus card is like your secret weapon for Hong Kong transport. It unlocks everything.
Okay, so like a universal travel card.
Exactly. You can use it on the MTR, buses, trams, ferries, even some taxis. No more digging for change or buying separate tickets. Just tap and go.
Talk about convenient. Definitely adding that to my packing list. Where can I get one of these magical cards?
Easy. Any MTR station, convenience stores, some banks. They even have special tourist versions with cool designs. Makes a nice souvenir.
All right, I'm sold. Octopus card it is. Now, full disclosure, I tend to get overwhelmed by new transport systems. Is it really that easy to figure out all this?
Honestly, Hong Kong's system is super user-friendly. The MTR stations have signs in English and Chinese, and there are always staff to help if you get lost. Plus, most locals speak some English. Don't be afraid to ask for directions.
That's good to hear. What about announcements on the trains? Are those in English too?
Yep, all the MTR announcements are in Cantonese and English. You'll always know what's coming up.
Okay, that's a relief. Feeling much better about navigating Hong Kong now. But what about etiquette? Any cultural things I should know about using public transport?
People in Hong Kong are generally very polite on public transport. Just remember to queue up for the MTR and buses. Avoid talking loudly on your phone. It's good etiquette to give up your seat to elderly passengers or people with kids.
Good tips. Always good to be respectful of local customs.
For sure. And one last thing, Hong Kong is a great walking city. Don't be afraid to explore on foot. You'll find hidden gems, get a better feel for the neighborhoods.
Just wander and explore. I like it.
Exactly. But always look right then left when you cross the street. Traffic can be a bit crazy.
Noted. This has been so helpful. I feel ready to take on Hong Kong's transport system. Before we move on, though, to part 3, where we'll be talking about the cultural side of doing business in Hong Kong, I wanted to go back to the Airport Express for a minute.
Okay, what about it?
Well, we talked about how fast and convenient it is, but what's it actually like to ride the Airport Express? Is it just a basic train, or is there something special about it?
It's actually a really nice ride. The trains are modern, spacious, comfortable seats, plenty of room for luggage. Plus, you get free Wi-Fi.
So catch up on emails, work on presentations, all while being whisked into the city.
Exactly. And the stations themselves are interesting. They're like little airports. Check-in counters for the airlines, even baggage transfer services.
Hold on, I can check my bags in at the Airport Express station in the city.
Yep, if you're flying with one of the participating airlines, you can check your bags in at the station in Hong Kong or Kowloon, then travel to the airport hands-free.
That is so smart. Saves so much time and hassle at the airport. Okay, I'm impressed with the Airport Express. It's more than just a train, it's a whole experience.
It's all about making travel as smooth and easy as possible,
I'm
right?
going to set it better myself.
And on that note, maybe it's time to move on to the next part of our Hong Kong adventure. We're about to dive into the cultural side of things, the etiquette tips that'll help you navigate the business world in Hong Kong.
Okay, so we've explored the neighborhoods, figured out the transport. Now for the final layer of our Hong Kong deep dive, business etiquette.
Yeah, you can have the perfect itinerary, the smoothest commute,
Yeah.
but, one cultural misstep can really mess things up.
For sure. So let's talk about those unspoken rules, the must-knows for navigating the Hong Kong business world.
All right, first things first. Hong Kong, it's all about efficiency, being on time. Like, if you're even a few minutes late to a meeting, it can come off as disrespectful.
Got it. No island time in Hong Kong.
Exactly. And speaking of first impressions, business attire is pretty conservative. Suits and ties for men, professional dresses, or skirt suits for women. Save the casual clothes for your free time.
I'm sensing a theme here. Professionalism, respect. It's key.
You got it. Now, greetings. A handshake is standard, but often with a slight bow of the head shows respect.
East meets West. I like it.
And here's something people often forget. Business cards. In Hong Kong, they're a big deal, more formal than in some other cultures.
Okay, so how do I do the business card thing right?
Always give and receive cards with both hands. Shows you value the interaction, the person. And take a second to actually read the card before putting it away. Ideally in a card holder, not just your pocket.
Noted. Both hands. Respectful glance. Now, what about language? I know Cantonese is the main language, but how much English is spoken in the business world?
You'll find that most people in business speak English. But even if you can get by, Learning a few basic Cantonese phrases, it really makes a difference.
I love that. Even if my pronunciation is terrible, I think people would appreciate the effort.
Absolutely. It shows respect that you're trying to connect with their culture. Now, beyond language, the communication style is important too. Hong Kong can be a bit more indirect than, say, Western business culture.
So no straight talking, get to the point negotiations.
It's not always that simple.
Right.
In Hong Kong, relationships are really important, so is harmony. People avoid direct confrontation, so it's all about being subtle, reading between the lines.
Got it. Patience is key then.
Yeah, patience is huge. Don't expect quick decisions. Building trust, that's a big part of the process.
So it's about more than just the deal. It's about building a long-term partnership.
Exactly. And another thing, personal space. Hong Kong is a crowded city. People are used to being closer than you might be used to.
So if someone's standing a bit closer than I'm comfortable with, I shouldn't back away.
It's just a cultural thing, no disrespect intended. All right, let's switch gears a bit, talk about dining etiquette. Business dinners are a big part of building relationships in Hong Kong, so it's good to know the customs.
Okay, lay it on me. I love food, so I definitely don't want to mess up here.
One big thing is chopsticks. Don't stick them upright in your rice bowl. It's like incense sticks they use for ancestral offerings. Considered rude.
Wow, would never have known that. Chopstick etiquette, check. What about pouring drinks? Do I fill my own glass, or...?
It's polite to pour for others, especially those older than you or higher up in the company. And when someone pours for you, hold your glass with both hands. Shows respect.
Both hands for business cards and drinks? I'm seeing a trend here.
Right. And when you toast, ganbi is the word, literally means empty glass. But you don't have to actually empty it every time. A sip is fine.
So I can pace myself and still be polite. Good to know. Any other dining tips?
Yeah, try a little bit of everything, even if you're not sure you'll like it. And it's okay if you don't finish everything. It means your host has provided enough food.
No pressure to clean my plate. I can handle that.
And last thing, when the bill comes, the host usually pays, but it's good manners to offer to chip in, even if they say no.
So generosity, hospitality, those are the key takeaways here.
Absolutely.
This has been amazing. I feel like I actually understand Hong Kong's business culture now.
You know, the key to any cross-cultural situation is respect, willingness to learn, and a bit of humility.
Couldn't agree more. And to all our listeners, we hope this deep dive has given you the knowledge and confidence to navigate Hong Kong's business world.
Happy travels, everyone.